Rucker Knives here, Thomas and Jess here. For those of you that don't know us, I'm really sorry. You should have got to know us sooner in life. But we're manufacturing a line of tactical knives for you. And we're going to start off just kind of showing you what we got. We're using strictly Nitro V steel, which is a new steel that's high vanadium, high nitrogen added to it, which is going to make it a lot more edge retention wise, and it also is more anti-corrosive. There you go. That's the right word, right? Anti-corrosive. Yeah. So we're going to start with the models. These are all developed and designed by Spec Ops people. They're also all made by Spec Ops and 100% American made in America. This one is called the Benghazi. This was a memorial knife done for the boys that were caught up in that Benghazi fiasco. It was designed by Marine sniper, Special Forces snipers, SEALs, Green Berets. Took us a long time to develop that because, you know, when you get a whole bunch of guys trying to figure out the same thing, it just goes to hell in a handbag. But this one finally came out what they wanted. The guys that were primarily going to use this knife run a bushcraft school along with their sniper school. So this is what they wanted to come up with for them and their students as well. It's the Benghazi.
Just a side story on the Benghazi. As you know, we're in Montana, Kalispell, Montana, and one of our neighboring towns is Big Fork, Montana, and it has the only Benghazi memorial on the planet due to the fact that one of the Benghazi fellows' parents lived in Big Fork at the time. So the memorial's about to be moved, but we used to use it for fundraisers, which Tom donated some knives for. So anyway.
Okay. This one is, oh, it's a really cool memorial with that eagle on it and stuff. That's cool. Gorgeous, man. This one's called the Murphy. Murphy was my mentor in Vietnam, 67 through 68.
Truth of the matter is, he wouldn't be sitting here right now without the Murphy.
That's a fact. I mean, there's no argument that that's a fact. It's a model that I designed, that I carried in Vietnam and through my other tours of combat in different places. It's also one my son carried when he was in the Gulf War. It's the Murph. It's a enlarged, old-style Puma model that has got some better edges. Again, all that great steel that's going into it. It's a model, I think, that's just about versatile for anything, survival as well as pure tactical operations.
Agreed.
Then we have the Sandbox. This was developed by the boys that served in Afghanistan and Iraq. They wanted something that was good in the bushcraft as well as a tactical use for them. This is primarily done by one of the Special Forces snipers. He took it out, and we told him to take it out and strictly abuse the devil out of it so we could get a good field test on it. And he definitely abused the devil out of it. I can't say hell on this, can I? Yeah, I can. I can say hell. He abused the hell out of this thing. But he brought it back, and it went right back into shape with no problem whatsoever. And he even beat the back of this thing with a log, trying to split up into some more firewood. He could put it through its paces. It's a great knife.
Just this side of a machete. Of interest, two of the three knives we've demonstrated so far come with G10 handles. Tom likes to describe these handles as fiberglass on steroids. Pretty durable. We've not found anything yet that can...
No. You can beat them with a hammer and not hurt them.
Very versatile and attractive. Some of the earlier stuff, maybe not so much, but everybody's liked the handle so far.
Yeah. And this one has got a similar blade design to the Murphy. Not quite as drastic in the front. It's more of a tactical approach to it. Great survival, great bushcraft style to it. G10 handles, as Jesse mentioned, with a good heavy guard on the front of it. It's got some good weight to it. And this one is called, yeah, and this one we call the Bush, after the boys from Vietnam that served in the bush. The Little Nasty.
The Little Nasty.
The Little Nasty is one of my favorites. It's kind of one of those you pick up and the first thing you're looking for is something to stick. You know, you just want to stick something. It was designed for some African professional hunters. After they shoot something like a Cape buffalo or one of the dangerous animals, they want to come in right behind the head and sever the spine just to make sure it's not just playing possum after they poked it in the eye even. But we put on there a rubberized mat, which is actually made out of horse stall. And it took a special epoxy and a special primer to make this stuff stay on there good. And we finally got that whipped with some helps from our technical friends. And it's just a Mean little knife.
That may be the closest thing we make to a fighter.
Yeah, probably that one or this one. Yeah, and I agree with that. This one we call the pig. It was originally designed actually for pig stabbing. You can see the blood groove through it. The theory on that is that if you are truly stabbing something, it will automatically form and pull a suction on it. So it's really hard to remove sometimes if you've got a good deep stab on something. The little groove they put on, they call them fullers. It's a fuller line. Really doesn't break the suction. This will completely break the suction. I stabbed the first hog with this knife, a little over 200 pounds. When I stuck him, it went all the way to the hilt, 7.5 inches of steel. When I pulled it out, the blood shot over my shoulder. This one's been on 3 different television shows for stabbing hogs, so we know that when it comes to stabbing, if that's what your game is, this one will truly do the job. And again, it's got the same handle as the Little Nasty. It's got that rubberized handle. No matter how wet, snotty, bloody you get it, it's not going anywhere. And this one's Jesse's. He did the beauty on this one.
So this is my version of a dive knife. We canvassed several Old Frogs UDT folks and current day SEALs as to what they thought was important in a dive knife. And believe it or not, the most important thing that came out of the voting was this little deal here, much like a skull crusher, but much of the work underwater is done with striking, maybe not cutting, although it truly becomes a survival instrument in that if entanglement occurs, cutting yourself free, or in my case, working with the dolphins, cutting a gentleman that had a dolphin freaked out during capture, hit a net, the dolphin spun and wrapped him in a net. So we needed something quite sharp, quite quickly, and that's what reminded me to put something that cuts of interest, surrogated edge of interest. If you think about it, if you're underwater and you push, what's going to happen is your mass is going to be pushed away, which is contrary to most cutting techniques. In the water, using a hand to brace and pull toward you, which is the reason for the reverse cutters, as well as the bloodletting channel should you want to do any kind of game. It too comes with the rubberized handle. We're looking for some team guys, SEAL team guys right now to test it. We've a new SEAL from a gentleman from SEAL Team 6 has just recently moved to town, and he's working on getting us a couple of people to take this into the field and give it some real tests. So it's light. We'll see.
Yeah, great knife, really is. That one is our Recon. That was designed by the Marine Recon in our group, who he catches a lot of flack for because he's a Marine. I mean, Marines absolutely have to have a lot of flack. It's got the G10 handle. It's got the Tonto blade to it. It's got the bloodline through it. It's a great little weapon. It's sharp, cuts you from about 8 different angles, no matter what you're trying to do with it. And it's just practical. Got the nice skull cracker on the back of it. So if you're in a recon situation, it'll handle almost all of those chores for you. The last one is kind of it's called the Mitchell. It's got the bloodline through it. This one was actually shipped to Afghanistan, and it was returned by the wife of the soldier that had it, the Green Beret that had it. Unfortunately, before he got it, he was killed in action. Henceforth, we've named it the Mitchell, after Sergeant Mitchell. So that's our current line. We have some folders coming for you, tactical folders. They should be out in the next 30 to 45 days, and we sure appreciate it. I want you to take a look at them. Any questions, give us a call straight away. Thank you.
One last little detail. We're still unsure as to sheathing for these. We've played with leather, nylon, Kydex. Kydex being noisy. Nylon so far, at least initially, seems a very good choice. But if you have some input, would you please leave it on the website, because we'd like to find something that matches up to the knives. Thank you.